The Ballad of Emmanuel University, Franklin Springs. A tragedy in five-star disappointment. Oh, gather round, my disillusioned darlings, and let me tell you the tale of Emmanuel University, Franklin Springs, a place where dreams go to wither like a houseplant in a dorm room with no sunlight. A place so institutionally tragic, it makes public high school look like Oxford. Let us begin with the academic advising, or should I say, the lack thereof. Picture this. You, a bright-eyed freshman, clutching your degree plan like a sacred scroll, only to be met with advisors who couldn't guide a lost puppy to a bowl of kibble. They stare at you like you've asked them to explain quantum physics in pig Latin. Oh, you need this class? Oops, it's full. Try again next semester if you're lucky. And just like that, your graduation date stretches into the horizon like a bad highway mirage. Why is this bad? Because without proper guidance, you're not a student, you're a glorified pinball, bouncing between requirements until you run out of quarters, or in this case, tuition money. Then there's the dorms. If you've ever wanted to experience the charm of a Soviet-era tenement building, congratulations. Emmanuel University delivers. Peeling paint, mysterious stains that could double as modern art, and a heating system that alternates between Arctic tundra and surface of the sun. And the smell like a forgotten gym bag left in a damp basement for a decade. Why is this bad? Because home should not feel like a punishment. Sleep deprivation from squeaky beds and roommate drama isn't just annoying, it's academic sabotage. But wait, let's talk about the food. Ah yes, the culinary crimes served in the dining hall. Imagine rubbery eggs that bounce higher than your GPA, mystery meat that defies identification. Is it chicken? Is it regret? Who knows? And vegetables so overcooked they've given up on life. The texture alone could traumatize a spoon. Why is this bad? Because food isn't just fuel, it's comfort. And when every meal tastes like a cry for help, your morale plummets faster than your bank account after tuition hits. Now, the Christian atmosphere. Oh, sweet irony. Instead of love thy neighbor, it's judge thy neighbor unless they fit the very specific mold of acceptable. Question anything, heretic, have doubts, backslider, the forced chapel attendance. A soul-crushing waste of time where you sit, zoning out, while someone lectures you about joy in a room that smells like old hymnals and existential dread. Why is this bad? Because spirituality shouldn't feel like a mandatory pep rally for guilt. And the professor some so unprepared, you wonder if they rate teaching or improvising a one-man show. Read the textbook. No, I want to explain it. Yes, the test is tomorrow. High school was more challenging. Why is this bad? Because you're paying for an education, not a PowerPoint slideshow from 2005. The Financial Aid Office. A black hole where promises disappear faster than your will to live. Oh, that scholarship. Yeah, about that. Cue the paperwork labyrinth with no exit. Why is this bad? Because financial stress plus academic stress equals a mental health crisis waiting to happen. And campus safety, laughable. Petty thefts go unresolved, and the administration's response is radio silence. Why is this bad? Because feeling unsafe in your own home is a special kind of betrayal. The career services, non-existent. You graduate with a degree and zero job prospects, left to wander the post-grad wasteland like a tumbleweed of debt. Why is this bad? Because college is supposed to prepare you for life, not abandon you at the doorstep of adulthood. So here we are, my fellow wounded scholars. Emmanuel University, Franklin Springs Masterclass.
I've been looking into some really unsettling stuff near Emmanuel University in Franklin Springs, you know. It's like, this quaint little town has a dark side that not many people see, especially if you're just here for a short visit. So there's this case where a bunch of thieves turned into these supervillain types, stealing from stores right out of a comic book. They took millions of dollars worth of stuff and sold it on eBay, like they were running their own twisted department store. Imagine shopping at one of these local places, picking out something nice to take back home, and it turns out to be hot merchandise. The victims, they probably felt so violated, you know. And the thieves, it's like they thought they were untouchable, but I bet they ray sweating now with the law closing in. Then there's this other story that's just heartbreaking. This guy, Sylvester, he orders some tools, excited to start a project or something, and he gets a picture instead. Like, who does that? He must have been so frustrated, waiting for his stuff, only to find out he's been played. And the scammers, I hope they got a taste of their own medicine, ending up with nothing but fake smiles in their mugshots. And it's not just online stuff. There's this woman who got scammed out of over 80,000. That's someone's life savings, college fund, or a dream wedding down the drain. These scammers were so bold, tracking her every move. I can even imagine the fear and stress she went through. I am guessing she had to rebuild her life from scratch, and I really hope she found the support she needed. As for the scammers, they better have learned that money isn't everything, because it sure won't buy them a clean conscience. It's just sad, you know. These scams around Emmanuel University, they ray like a storm cloud over what should be a peaceful town. It's not just about the money or the stuff, it's the trust that's broken. And for tourists just passing through, it's like they ray walking through a minefield of deceit. I wish I could say these stories are rare, but they ray not. It's like some businesses near the university have this dark side, lurking beneath the surface. And as a community, we've got to look out for each other, especially our visitors who come here with excitement and leave with a bad taste in their mouth. So if you're planning to visit Franklin Springs, just be careful, okay? Keep your eyes open and your wits about you. And remember, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Let us not let the bad apples spoil the bunch. We ray better than this, and our town deserves better too.
Businesses near Emmanuel University in Franklin Springs have a reputation for being inconsistent, overpriced, and often disappointing. If you're expecting quality service, fair pricing, or even basic professionalism, prepare to lower your expectations. The area suffers from a pattern of neglect, whether it's apathetic staff, misleading practices, or outright incompetence. Take Great American Cookies, for example. This place should be a simple joy: cookies, cake, sweetness. Instead, it's a masterclass in disappointment. Employees lounging on counters like it's their living room, cookie cakes arriving blank despite specific instructions, and bags splitting open like they're designed to sabotage your day. One customer was even accused of theft because the staff couldn't manage their own payment system. The reviews paint a picture of a business that doesn't care, not about hygiene, not about orders, and certainly not about customers. Then there's Franklin and Rosemary Boutique, where the service is as cold as the overpriced clothes. Shoppers report being ignored, dismissed, or outright scammed. One woman watched an employee smirk at her before refusing to acknowledge her existence. Another called to ask about job openings and was hung up on mid-sentence. The boutique seems to operate on the assumption that customers are an inconvenience, unless, of course, they fit a very specific profile. The hair boutique, a gamble. One woman left looking, in her words, hideous, after a stylist ignored her requests and butchered her cut over 3 agonizing hours. Another walked out with grey streaks instead of the rich brunette she asked for. The place functions more like a chaotic rental space than a real salon. No oversight, no consistency, just crossed fingers and regret. Viva El Taco Mexican Grill is another exercise in frustration. The prices change like the weather, the portions shrink by the day, and the staff's attitude ranges from indifferent to openly combative. One longtime customer was hung up on twice over a missing 2 portion of cheese. Another found their salsa deliberately spiked to unbearable heat as some kind of bizarre retaliation. The only thing consistent here is the disappointment. Snap Fitness Royston, good luck getting in. The door's usually locked, the phones go unanswered, and the manager's hours are a mystery. One parent was told their child couldn't work out due to insurance reasons, while an employee's own kid lifted weights beside them. Memberships charge automatically, even when the gym is inaccessible. It's less a fitness center and more a financial trap. Finally, the vineyard at High Holly, where the wine isn't local, the prices are outrageous, and the service moves at the speed of molasses. One